Hello, sweet friends. I have the promised video for you with the journal that I have just finished. I wanted to show you the thrift find that I got, in which I am carrying my journal and my some of the art supplies that I carry back and forth between the house and my classroom. It is a makeup case that you can find anywhere. I found it at the thrift store, and I'm sure you can find one too. It fits my journal perfectly. It also fits whatever supplies I might want to carry with me. Not a lot, but enough, for the day or for whatever it is that I'm doing on the journal. So as you can see, I have my journal inside a cereal box. Yes, this is a cereal box that I have altered. I've actually had to cut a little bit off of it because I thought it was just a little bit too tall for my journal. And you can see the journal is pretty fat in there. However, it fits really well. And here it is, the composition book that has been altered into an art journal. This particular art journal is something that my students are making in all my classes. It is a creative journey that they are taking, and it is a regular composition book. I have a video where I am showing the first step to making this journal, and today I wanted to show you a flip through of the entire journal. I have baptized my journal. I'm calling it Fluffinsky, the fluffy art journal. It has a pocket over here in the beginning, and this is something that I wanted my students to make, and that is a title page with the name, the date, and anything that is important for them to document for the beginning of their journal. The next pages I have here are for my index. So I wanted to have this over here just as a sort of like a to-do list. I wanted to be a reminder of the things that needed to be done. The pockets, etc., there are 12 of them, and all 12 of them are tabbed with these tabs over here. And there are 12 of them, 12 tabs, therefore 12 boxes. And here's where I can write down, this is a pocket where I'm keeping such and such, or whatever it is that is important about that particular pocket contents, or whatever it is that I did. Not every single one of these has a pocket. However, you can have pockets on all of them. So I watched the video after after I finished it, and I realized that I skipped something in here with my index, and I know my students really wanted to see this. So I'm including it over here before I move on to the next pages. Really quickly, it is this is the index, pockets, etc. And then I forgot to show you this. So there are 22 page spreads that include artworks, collages, inspirational pieces, that kind of thing. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys see this before we move on to the rest of the video. I made a quick interlude over here for y'all just so you can see the index. And here's an example of the kind of pocket that you can do. This over here is just a little sketchbook made out of a file folder. It is folded in the style of a zine. And this is just mark making with a ballpoint pen. and the drawings were done on index cards. And the kind of ballpoint pens that I like to use are the cheapest that you can possibly find. This is a quote typography type of writing where, you know, the lettering becomes artistic. This over here is a collage from magazines, a bunch of different images that I put together, and then on the right side I have a pen and ink drawing of my collage. This is a cover from a catalog, and this over here is a digital rendering of the cover that I really enjoyed. I have plans for this. I will probably be doing other things with it, but I have it prepared and I have it documented here in my art journal. This is a digital drawing that I have done in the past, and I just wanted it in here just to showcase the different kinds of things that you can include in your art journal. The background for this particular page is parchment paper. It was some paper that I got in a package that I received from Amazon or someplace like that, and then the quote was done with, I believe, acrylic pens, acrylic markers, yes. Here are some more pockets and some more of my index card. Index card. This is what I do. I just grab whatever's on my desk and I just start mark making. And this is a zine that was made out of a magazine page. I think I have some videos showing you how to fold a zine. This is another zine that uses a couple of the folded magazine pages because it has more pages in it. Here's another one that is decorated, and this one is the kind of thing that I like my students to make for their warm-ups. And that's another multi-page zine made out of a magazine page. Actually, it's a couple of magazine pages here because it has multiple pages. And they fit really nice inside those pockets. One thing that I wanted to point out is the fact that after I was finished with my entire journal, I decided to tape my edges just with the regular Scotch tape, the kind that you use for gift wrapping. The kinds of things that I like to have in my journal are things that I can reference in the future. For example, this grungy background, this particular wallpaper. I like to look at it and maybe use it as my inspiration for a painting or a drawing or some kind of artwork. I like to include quotes. I have a graphic arts and illustration class, and one of the things that I like them to do is these typography type of pages or artworks. This is a quote by Georgia O'Keeffe, and this is just a catalog. I think it was from the Patagonia catalog background over here. These are a couple of collages made from magazine pages. Yes, these are collaged over here. I cut them out and I put it all together. Here is a pocket and some things that I'm still working on. Something from the Cottage Fairy, Paola. that I purchased, and I really like it, and it goes perfectly in here. And I can show my students if they want to follow her. And just some paper. Maybe I will do something with them, maybe a collage or do a drawing on it. I like to include things that I can always reference and look at. Another thing that I like to do is to include things that I really, really enjoy. And this is a collage that I found in a magazine of Ernest Hemingway. And I put together a collage. Basically, this over here is made out of different pieces from another magazine. And to just put it all together and created a collage. Same thing over here. This is all collaged. Things that tell a story, or things that I really like to look at. Things that evoke a feeling, or they bring a memory. These are the kinds of things that I like to include in my art journals. This is a pocket made out of a picture. And I can stick something in there. This is a pocket made out of a junk mail envelope. And this has an article about an artist that I found in a Vogue magazine. And I think this was the heading from the article. And then on the back I have a collage that I made. This took a while because everything had to be perfectly placed, and the composition had to make sense for me, and I really, really love this collage. This is one of my favorite collages. This one was done with scraps from my desk, just things that were lying around and they were getting ready to be thrown away in the garbage, and I just made a collage out of those. Things that make me happy, and these chickens are absolutely adorable, and I may look at them and laugh, or I may look at them and make my own drawings. They're just the cutest things ever. Here's another collage of what I would like my day to look like. I want my shoes to look like that. I want my floors to look like that. I want paintbrushes and paint everywhere. That gives me the kind of vibe and environment that I like to be in. Another thing that I like to do is I like to put in images that say something to me that will not necessarily say anything to anyone else. And in this particular trifold that I have here, this tells a story for me. This is something that really, really speaks to my heart, and I like to be reminded of that. I also like this collage setup that I made here with a Mont Blanc fountain pen that I found in a magazine, and then some lettering that I printed out. And this reminds me of the days when I decided that I was going to improve my handwriting, and I spent hours and hours and hours, and I'm not exaggerating, days and days and days, weeks, months. I've actually copied a few books from the Bible just so that I can practice my handwriting. Here's another pocket that is holding things that I might use in the future. Here's a quote by Henry Matisse and a painting by him that I really liked. And of course, whatever it was that was in the magazine, I put it on the back. This is a Neurographica drawing that I've done. And then one way that I like to show my students and how to start a drawing, you can always look at shadows, you can always look at textures, and this is an example of the type of things that you can use to start a drawing. This can be the beginning of a Neurographica drawing. If you don't want to draw the lines yourself, you can just trace the lines that are formed. It's just gives you a more interesting, more spontaneous and organic feel for whatever lines you're going to put there. And of course, I want to mention the fact that my backgrounds are always covered. It's important for that to be done, just to showcase the artwork and whatever it is that you're putting in there. This is another texture that I found in a magazine, and there was some writing over here, but I found something that fit perfectly on top, and I even matched the crack that was in the image over here with another crack that was on the image that I placed on top to cover the writing. And this is another Neurographica pen and ink drawing that I did. Actually, it's ballpoint pen. Here's another pocket. This is a half pocket that I made by folding into pages, and I have some artworks or images that I found in magazines, and I really like them. They're colorful, they have interesting composition, coloring, that sort of thing, and I like to keep it in here for future reference. And in this pocket I have another one of those sketchbooks made out of file folder, and these are also done on index cards, and they are just Neurographica drawings that I've done using different media. This is a pocket made out of a Starbucks bag, and it's double pocket from the top and from the side. And this is a folio that talks or that showcases my love for coffee. And I found some things in magazines that I really enjoyed and made some collaging with those. And then this over here is some recipes for whatever coffee treats and things that I thought that maybe I should put in here and make someday. A little article by Francis Ford Coppola about the art of coffee, and fits perfectly because this is an art journal, and of course my day always starts with coffee. And I just put it in here, and this goes in here. So this is a painting. I found it in a book about flowers, and I just cut out as much as I could cut to fit it on the page, but then I wanted to focus on the skull, and this is a ballpoint pen drawing that I started based on the skull, but I'm making it my own. I'm not necessarily making a direct copy of this painting. I'm just doing my own thing, looking at it. On the other hand, this is a copy of a painting that I saw, and I put it in here. The background is done with tissue paper. This is also done with some tissue paper and some muffin paper thingies. And this is another collage that I made. I was getting ready to throw away these scraps, and I looked at them and I said, why not make a collage with them? So I did. I made a collage and put it in here. And I have these are just transparencies that I had lying around my classroom, and I cut to fit and put them in here because these pages like to stick to each other. These are some pictures that I want to look at and maybe draw from. Some pockets, a color palette or landscape, to look at and draw from. And this is an example of what not to do. I like to show the difference between what something that is just being, you know, glued in there. It's a beautiful drawing. I'm sure you can all agree with this, but if it's just on a plain background and you really didn't take any care about what you did around it, it just, I don't know, that doesn't look that important. So always do the background. And here's an example of what to do. You can use washi tape to frame out your artwork. And in this case, even though it's not done all the way to the edge, the paper itself becomes part of the design. And this is done with ballpoint pens. Here are more pockets. And somebody asked me, well, what do we put in the pockets? Well, you can put anything you like in the pockets. In this case, I have some iStudies that I did very fast as an example for my students. Just magazine pages, and then the eyes. I looked at the eye and made it over here. Same thing here. Very fast, very quick. I didn't spend very much time on them, but I have something to look at and to reference if I ever need to know, well, how do I do that? And then another thing that you can do is create these reference folios. For some odd reason, I keep collecting food. I don't know, maybe I'm always hungry or maybe these look very good and I like to look at them, so I glue them inside the folio. Another thing that you can put inside your art journal are what I like to call color stories. So this page right here is actually it's a collage because I have that page and then I have this from another magazine. The colors here were referenced to make this drawing over here. So this is the type of thing that you want to have in your journal is color stories. You want to have like a color palette that you can pick your colors, similar to how you would do a digital drawing. We're picking your colors from a palette. Same thing. You can look and see if the picture looks good to you. That means that the colors are right. Somebody has taken care of that for you. So now all you have to do is look at it and use that as a reference for your own color choices. This collage here makes me happy. There's something about this whole entire page spread that just, I don't know, it just makes me happy. Creativity, innocence, happiness, joyfulness. I don't know, there's something about this that just makes me happy. And why not have that in your journal? Put in something that makes you smile, makes you laugh, makes you happy, brings a thought that you want to be reminded of all the time. Here's some more pen and ink or ballpoint pen drawings that I've done. This is collaged, and then I have done the ballpoint pen. This background is done with washi tape. Same thing over here, it's washi tape. And you can see what a huge difference between something that has been carefully arranged and displayed versus the one that I've done over here that doesn't have anything. So textures. There's nothing more important than having these kinds of textures readily available at your fingertips to reference. Even if you were to sit and just look at the edges and try to draw those, that will be a great exercise for you to do. And then of course, you know, the drawing or the picture itself is absolutely beautiful. Even the composition, the way that this whole thing is laid out makes a beautiful, beautiful composition for an abstract painting or drawing that you want to do some text on or things like that. This over here is another copy of another painting that I found in a book. Again, something that I wanted to keep in my journal to reference for maybe a folk art type of drawing. You know, I like to see what else can you add? I mean, you wouldn't think of putting flowers on a bird always, but if it's here, you can see how to do it, or you can see how good it looks. So therefore, or these polka dots on whatever this animal is here. So having something like this as a reference or as a starting point for a drawing or a painting is always important. Here's another pocket with another image that I found in a magazine, and I really, really liked this. This is absolutely gorgeous. An image that I really liked from a magazine. I really love that portrait over here. It's one done by Esther Sinclair. This over here is a perfect example of the type of things that you can find in just about any home and garden type of magazines. It's not necessarily for the plates or for whatever it is that I'm looking at over here. It's mostly about the repetition of the shape. The round shape is being repeated over, and that is something that makes for a very good composition. And also the juxtaposition between the round shapes, simple forms, simple geometric shapes versus this this background that is visible here. It's also a very interesting way of doing a background when you have something so simple. This over here is a collage that I found in a magazine, and I wanted to do something that was inspired by it. And this over here is my collage based off of this. And what I did in my mind is I said, what is here? What do you see? I see some shapes, I see colors, I see some plants, I see rocks, and I see these arms. So I said, okay, let's find some arms, some colors, some shapes, and some plants. And there you go. This took a bit of time to put together, but in the end, I think it is very beautiful. I really like how this whole thing came together. And everything in the background except for the arms was found in a Patagonia catalog. And if you're out there looking for materials or magazines, you can always get catalogs like, you know, from Patagonia or some other place where you can order your clothes. This one has some very, very beautiful images. This over here is a ransom note quote and another image from a magazine that I really liked. I love to collect seashells, and this particular one, I just love how they did this. This is absolutely stunning. And maybe someday I will make this as well. Now, when you are doing something like this, don't just cut letters at random and start putting them at random. If you want to really understand composition, before you glue anything, play around with the position of the letters. Play around with the shape of the letters. Notice that my red letters are not all clumped together, or you don't see two, you know, of the same color right next to each other. Not when they are so bright. Because otherwise your eye will just be drawn to that particular area where you have that clump or that big focus of color, and you will not look anywhere else. So try this, because this is an interesting exercise. And it's not important that the letters are cut out perfectly. I really wanted it to be very haphazardly done, because I still wanted to keep that ransom note look to it. Another thing that I like to include are quotes. And if they come with a background, why not just put it in there? And I really like the colors and what I'm seeing in this image. And then over here is a collage that I made based off, well, it's not based because it's not exactly perfect, but I'm using flowers in here as well in a different palette. But they all work together. And then this over here is, if you want to know what my favorite colors are, this is it right here. That red is my favorite. This whole entire thing, what you see here, is what I want to be dressed in and live in. I should be surrounded by. And why not put it in my art journal if I enjoy looking at it. And this is a collage that I made based off the colors that I saw in here. And I put this over here because for some odd reason, this washi tape decided to peel off, and it kind of started to get on top. But it doesn't matter because this is not going in a museum anytime soon. So it's just for me and for my students to look at, and I really enjoy it. And then over here I have another pocket, and the background is a magazine page. I wanted to include one of my linoleum cut prints that I've done. I wish that I could do more of these. I absolutely love doing linoleum cuts. A quote that I want to live by: attract what you expect, reflect what you desire, become what you respect, mirror what you admire. In here I have a little booklet that features all of the Zentangle designs that I actually have some videos showing you how to make these. And I made a booklet to put them in. Okay. And this booklet goes in here. And this is a pocket that I made by tearing the page and gluing it on the other side. And coming down to the last page, a pocket where I want my students to put their evaluation page, another pocket to hold whatever you need to hold in there, and this is the back. I had to reinforce my spine with some tape. I used some duct tape because that's what I had on my desk and around me. Now that I'm looking at this, I should have thought about it better. The light colors obviously will get all dirty, but if you don't care about that, that's fine. I mean, like I said, this is not going to go in a museum anytime soon. So this is Fluffinsky. Fluffinsky, the Fluffy Art Journal. Let me know what you think. I am planning on making another journal, and the next journal is going to be more focused on my graphic arts and illustration, because I have plenty of ideas that I have come up with for an art journal for that. Let's find a nice page. Oh, let's go to the back one, the one that I absolutely love. And I will leave you with this. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you will come back and see some more. Bye bye.